Apartheid is not a feeling. It is a specific legal system, racial supremacy written into statute, and if we hand that word out to everything we dislike, we steal it from the people who actually survived it. Under apartheid, a black judge could not sentence a white man. That was illegal. Interracial marriage was illegal. Separate courts, separate hospitals, separate park benches, separate entrances, all enforced by law. Black South Africans could not vote. That is the definition. Now Israel. Roughly 2 million Arab citizens, out of about 10 million people. 20% of the country. They vote in every election. They sit in the Knesset, the Israeli parliament. They sit on the Supreme Court. And an Arab judge in Israel can sentence a Jewish man to prison. Routinely. It's not a special occasion. It's a Tuesday. In apartheid South Africa, that was a crime. Arab citizens of Israel are doctors, professors, lawyers, and journalists who write openly against their own government and go home safely afterward. There are Muslim-majority towns inside Israel, a fact so absent from Western coverage that when Shady Shay, a Nigerian British Christian, came back from Israel and mentioned it, his own Muslim friend in London had never heard those towns existed. Israel is also the only secular, non-Muslim state in the entire Middle East granting Muslims, Christians, Druze, and Baha'is equal legal standing, including as judges. That's not an Israeli making the claim. That's Jasem al-Jaraid, a Kuwaiti, who was exiled from his own country for saying things like that out loud. And he adds the part that got him exiled. Arab states will privately admit they cannot do the same at home. But arguments are cheap. So let's test it. Shady Shay was warned before his trip, don't go to Israel. Black people aren't welcome. Christians get spat on. He went anyway. He was welcomed everywhere. He was never spat on. He had a long, warm conversation with a rabbi who called him brother. He met a proudly Muslim, Arab, Israeli creator who loves his country. He met Sudanese Muslims who have been living and thriving there for years. He walked the Christian holy sites and came home saying he felt closer to Christ than when he left. And there was exactly one place in Israel where he was refused entry. Hold that thought, because we're coming back to it. Here's the strongest evidence, and it isn't a statistic. Arab Muslims volunteer for the Israeli army. Not conscripts, volunteers, in a system that doesn't require them to serve. Yahya Muhammad is an Israeli Arab Muslim who was raised to believe Jews were the eternal enemy. He served as an IDF combat soldier. And he wasn't alone, he found many others, including a Muslim woman serving in a combat unit, in a headscarf, publicly honored by the Prime Minister. The Druze community volunteers for Israeli combat units at the highest rate of any group in the country. Higher than Jews. And on the second day of October 7th, an Israeli Bedouin Muslim town found terrorists seeking shelter among them and turned them in. Nobody was watching. Nobody forced them. Now, put those two facts side by side. Ask yourself the question the word apartheid cannot survive. Why would 20% of a population, with free elections, with legal equality, with a completely open border to leave any time they wanted, choose to stay, vote, litigate, serve, and put on a uniform to fight for the state that supposedly oppresses them? People flee apartheid. They do not enlist in it and request a combat unit. And now the ending you've been waiting for. That one place in Israel where Shady Shay was refused entry? The mosque on the Temple Mount. Muslim-only access. Guarded and enforced by Israeli police. Jewish police officers protecting Muslim religious exclusivity, and they turned away a Christian visitor for not being Muslim. That's the apartheid state. That is the single instance of religious exclusion he encountered in the entire country, and Jews were the ones enforcing it on behalf of Muslims against a Christian. Now let's do the comparison nobody makes. Look one border over. Gaza has not held an election since 2006. Everyone in Gaza under the age of 37 has never voted for anything. Hamas won once and canceled the rest. When Gazans called a day of rage against Hamas, armed men were sent into the streets and protesters were threatened with execution as collaborators. So we have two societies. In one, Arabs vote, legislate, judge, criticize the government freely, and serve in the military by choice. In the other, Arabs have not been allowed to vote in 20 years and are threatened with death for protesting. Exactly one of these two places is called an apartheid state, and it is not the one that canceled the elections.